sons of bitches. Got anything else to say? Now's the fucking time!
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Jake Brown Podcast. I am your host, Jake Brown, coming to you live / pre-recorded by the time you hear it from Olympia, Washington. And sometimes I think I should have been like a DJ or something. What a fun job that would be. Of all the jobs that you could have, imagine getting paid to simply sit around and listen to music and just ramble on and on and on about whatever. I mean, like, not to the extent that some people would ramble on and on and on. You know, there are probably some rules. I think, what is it, the FCC? You can't just say whatever the fuck you want. I couldn't say whatever the fuck. I wouldn't be allowed. I'd probably get in trouble. God, it'd be a fun job, though. I should look into that. There are some local radio stations in this area. I wonder if I could get a job just like doing a few hours a week, playing like some slow jams. Probably not. I definitely would not hire me to be a DJ, because chances are I'd get super baked and then I'd show up and then I'd be playing like NWA and shit like that. Nope, I'd get fired. I'll just keep doing podcasts. How about that? Can we just agree that that's probably... Yes, thank you. Yes. I'll just continue doing the Jake Brown Podcast, and I will leave my dreams of being a DJ in my head. Unless, of course, someone out there who's listening is looking for a DJ. I mean, you're going to have to show me how to work like all the equipment, because I have no clue. I have a very bare bones setup here. I literally play the music. My phone connects to my soundboard through Bluetooth, and then I have some copyright-free music that I play. I really wish I could play like some music that I want to play, but that is not an option, because I don't know Queens of the Stone Age, so I can't be like, hey, can I use your guys' music? Can't do that. YouTube will be like, I can't be like, hey, who else do I listen to? Jeez. I feel like I just like, I go to the like my Spotify playlists. You know how like it recommends all this stuff for you? Man, I feel like sometimes it has been sending me down a fucking rabbit hole of music. Stuff I would not normally listen to. Groups, I don't even know who they are. No idea who some of these groups are. And they just start popping up in my playlists, you know? I'm assuming everyone has that problem. Like, they try to get you to discover new music. I don't want to discover new music. I read this article. This is a long time ago now. I read this article, how it talks about the music that you listened to when you were an early teenager. So like that, 13, 14, 15-year-old. That is essentially the music that is kind of imprinted on your brain. And you, for the most part, you will listen to some form of that, if not that same stuff, your whole life. And I think that's 100% true. I still listen to shit that I listened to when I was a little kid. And then into my teenage years, I listened to a lot of the same stuff. To me, it's timeless. It's timeless. It's great music. But I'm old enough now that when young people hear it, they're like, oh, that's classic. I'm like, God, shut the fuck up, man. To me, like the Doobie Brothers are classic. Jimi Hendrix is like classic, you know? Like Metallica's not classic to me. I grew up listening to that. I grew up listening to Slayer, Megadeth, Suicidal Tendencies, Method of Destruction. I listen to all kinds of crazy shit. Dead Kennedys, Sex Pistols, Alice in Chains. I even like Nirvana. I don't give a fuck. Man, the first time I heard Nirvana, I remember the very first time that I heard Nirvana, the Nevermind album. I was with my cousin and we were in Cle Elum, Washington, and one of his buddies had some fucking apartment and we were there, and I don't know, I don't remember who this person was. I was young at the time. I was maybe, I don't know, 13, some shit like that. And he goes, "Hey, do you guys want to hear some some different kind of music?" And I was like, "Okay." And he put Nirvana on. Man, I had never heard anything like that in my entire life up to that point. Because you got to think, man, like the late 80s, early 90s, it was either ridiculously like heavy stuff, like, you know, like the early Metallica was pretty damn heavy. Megadeth, that early stuff was pretty heavy. Slayer, very heavy. Morbid Angel, like that shit was heavy. Okay. Nirvana was so different from them. And then that's not even counting the mainstream, the fucking butt rock, the fucking hair bands like Motley Crue, Poison, fucking Warrant, uh I mean White Snake, all those all those weird fucking bands that all dressed up like a bunch of chicks and then just like did heroin and were drunk 24/7. Like those were all the groups that were getting played on MTV. Okay. Like Metallica had a couple. This is back like when they actually did music videos. You know, Metallica had like the song, it was off And Justice for All 1. That was like the only video. The only videos you saw where there was like a guitar involved, it was all those butt rock bands. Like that was it. And then here comes Nirvana. Oh man. It they completely wrecked an entire genre of music. They straight up fucking murdered. They murdered all those groups, all of them. Like none of them survived. When Nirvana came out, and then you know shortly after, you know there was Soundgarden, there was Alice in Chains. Like they murdered the hair bands. All those butt rock groups, they're fucking gone. They were gone. And honestly, now, like at this point in my life, I think I enjoy the butt rock more so than I did in the moment. You know, like I like a little Motley Crue every now and then. They got some good songs. They got some good songs, don't they? I mean, I like some of them. God, Guns N' Roses. Guns N' Roses was kind of a tweener because some of their shit was heavy, but then like some of their stuff was not really heavy. And Axl Rose was just a fucking maniac up there screaming his brains out. Slash was still, he's still one hell of a guitar player. I think I'll always have a soft spot in my heart for old GNR. Like those guys, I still every once in a while I'll still pull up some Guns N' Roses and a little Sweet Child of Mine and what is it, the Paradise City song. Like they got some damn good songs, I have to admit. But when the grunge hit, fuck man, hair bands got slaughtered. They had you either adapt or you die, and the hair bands, they did not adapt. They were not able to overcome, and that was the end of them. So I don't know, man. Like if I was a DJ, I would probably play what I consider to be not quite classic rock, but just like the shit that I grew up with, which is like a little bit of everything. And some rap, some heavy metal. I don't know, just a little bit of everything. Not country though. I do have to admit, I enjoy listening to country when I'm on road trips or when I'm driving through the snow. I have no idea why. I have no explanation for this. You put me in snow and I put that truck in 4-wheel drive, I can listen to country the whole fucking time. Or if I'm on some fucking freeway zoning out, it's just country is good freeway music. Agree or disagree? I honestly would love to know your guys' opinion on the appropriate time and place to listen to country. Now, obviously, some people absolutely love country. I know a lot of people who love country. I am not one of those people, but I have my two exceptions: snow and freeway driving. And I'm not just talking like, oh, I'm going to drive to Portland. I mean, like, I'm driving to Southern California, like that kind of freeway driving where I am on the road for hours upon hours upon hours at a time. But man, I'll get down with some country. At Jake Brown Pod. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Twitter/X. Let me know what kind of music you all listen to. Fuck it. Send me some music. Whatever your favorite song is, or favorite group, or if there's some shit you feel like I might be interested in, you want me to check it out, send it my way. Shoot me a DM. I'll listen to it. I'll check it out. I'll give you some honest feedback. Like if I think it sucks, I'm gonna tell you this shit sucks. But if it's good, I'll give you honest feedback as well. I like this. Music is it's very, very subjective. What's good for one is not necessarily good for the other. But I'm open to listening to all kinds of stuff. Lately, I've really like been into the Police. Okay, I don't know why. I've been into the Police quite a bit. God, who's that other group? There's another group I've also been into, and I can't remember. Supertramp and like Fleetwood Mac and Steely Dan. Like to me, that's classic rock. Because when I was a kid, that shit was old. Like that was coming up in the 60s and 70s. So when I hear that, like, I don't know, on some level, like it's very nostalgic for me. You know, my mom listened to that kind of stuff. She was always listening to the fucking Doobie Brothers. So I heard a lot of Doobie Brothers as a little kid. I heard a lot of Supertramp as a little kid. A lot of Fleetwood Mac, and then when God, what the hell? Who's the lead singer? Jesus, I'm having a total brain fart right now. She's insanely famous. God, I don't know why. It'll come to me as soon as I'm done with this episode. But when the lead singer of Fleetwood Mac, when she went solo, then I listened to all her stuff. And yeah, man, like, I don't know. There's so much music out there. There's so much music out there. Just like there's like so many places on this earth to visit. There's so much music to listen to, and there's just not enough time. So many cities to visit, so many countries to visit, just not enough time. So, hey, man, shoot me whatever your music suggestions are. I would, Stevie Nicks. God, how the hell did I forget her name? I cannot believe I forgot Stevie Nicks. Jesus. Man. Stevie, if you're listening, I apologize. I will never forget your name again. I promise. She's like, yeah, right. If Stevie Nicks ever listened to this podcast, I that would be the pinnacle. I feel like that's the pinnacle right there. It wouldn't get any better than that. Stevie Nicks she's of God status. Okay. Like Fleetwood Mac was huge. And then when Stevie Nicks went solo, she blew up even more. Really, the only thing I can compare it to, and I'm sure I'll probably catch some fucking flack for this. Uh, Destiny's Child was amazing. They were great. Okay, I think we could, for the most part, we can all agree on that. All right, Destiny's Child, very successful. They got a lot of great songs. We all know who the star was. We all know who the star of Destiny's Child was. Okay, we all know. And what happened when Beyonce went solo? She blew up even more. Even more. So I'm not saying that Stevie Nicks was on Beyonce's level, but that's just me trying to explain Fleetwood Mac and what happened to Stevie Nicks when she went solo. She fucking blew up. She blew up. And then there was a couple of times, I don't know, I think it was at some point in the 90s, the mid 90s, I don't know. She got back to, so MTV used to do this these series of like little concerts called MTV Unplugged. And if I'm literally just talking off the top of my fucking head right now. I wasn't planning on spending the first fucking 20 minutes of this episode talking music. I have other things I wanted to discuss, but here we are now, 16 minutes and 30 seconds in, and I'm talking fucking Stevie Nicks. Uh, so MTV used to have this thing called MTV Unplugged, and they would take like the biggest groups in that moment, and they would come on that show and they would just play acoustically. Nirvana did it. They have some phenomenal songs that they got off of that MTV Unplugged. I don't know, is maybe an hour, 2 hours. Well, a similar sort of thing was done with Fleetwood Mac, and they did this reunion. And it was like at the time, looking back, it was a big deal because when Stevie Nicks when she bolted, there was some drama. From what I understand, there was some drama. Her and the other lead singer, I think the person who founded Fleetwood Mac, and like I said, I'm talking off the top of my head. I don't remember what his name was, but apparently him and Stevie Nicks had some sort of fling, or they were dating and then they weren't dating. And a lot of the songs that were written were like about the relationship. This was some fucking raw shit, man. Like there was a lot of emotions. So when Stevie Nicks decided to go back and perform with Fleetwood Mac again, that was a big fucking deal. Like a lot of people tuned in to watch that. And me only really knowing Stevie Nicks as a solo artist, it was cool to see her in that light performing with Fleetwood Mac, who, and I'm not saying that Stevie Nicks wouldn't have been successful had she not been in Fleetwood Mac, but the fact that she got her start in Fleetwood Mac, I mean, like big start, it was unreal to see them get back together and to play songs that I had then heard. But I don't know, like I was an idiot when I was a kid. So, I don't think I put two and two together that, holy shit, Stevie Nicks was part of Fleetwood Mac. So I don't know. You could probably find that on YouTube or some shit. I don't remember if it was actually an MTV Unplugged. Honestly, it could have been on VH1. Do you all know VH1? Like you realize MTV was not the only music station at the time, like a TV station. They were not the only ones. So VH1 was like, MTV's fucking rival. And they were decent, but I don't know, similar to MTV, they went down the fucking reality show rabbit hole. And I think they just went belly up at some point. They couldn't compete with MTV. MTV always had the better reality stuff. I always feel like MTV, as far as music videos, played more like top 100 type stuff. More new music, they definitely played like more hip hop, more rock type stuff. VH1 played like, I don't know, like fucking Sarah McLachlan type shit, fucking Mazzy Star. I like Mazzy Star, but like that kind of music, just like real fucking chill, grab your glass of wine, light a candle, run a fucking bath. Like that's the kind of music VH1 played. But then they also tried to get in on the reality TV show type stuff, and their stuff just wasn't as good, you know. When you're trying to compete against the real world, good luck, good luck. Because the real world back when it was like legit, like when it was actually the fucking real world. Like if you watch that first season, I believe season 1 of the real world, they were in New York. Some of those motherfuckers weren't on the show the whole time because they were working. Like they literally had to go to work. So they'd be gone during chunks of each episode and then they'd show back up when they fucking got off work. Like it was actually like, to me, that was real reality at that time. Now it's all, whatever the fuck it is. You got probably producers and these people trying to get them to do things. And even as the real world, as it went on, it turned less and less real and more like, let's just give all these beautiful people alcohol and then just watch them fucking implode. I think the tipping point was the Seattle season when who's that that gay black dude who fucking slapped that chick with Lyme disease. They were like outside there. Remember they worked at 1077. They all interned at 1077. And the Lyme disease chick, she popped off. She said something, and the gay black dude was like, "Oh no, you didn't," and just fucking, what did the 5 fingers say to the face? Slap. And then he got thrown off the show, and there was all this fucking drama. And then I feel like from that point on, all of the real world, it just got worse and worse and worse. And it's just like, oh my God, this isn't even reality at this point. These people are all just trying to become famous. So I don't know. The first few seasons were cool. That New York one was cool. The Seattle one was cool. San Francisco, you remember Puck, that crazy bastard, and Pedro, rest in peace. That was definitely an entertaining season. But I don't like, none of them really compare to that first one. That New York season was very, very unique. No, none of us really knew what the fuck we were watching. It was so weird. We're just like, really? They're just recording these people in this apartment. Like there was no rhyme or reason to the show, and for good reason. It's not like MTV knew what the fuck they had. They had no idea what they had. They had no idea what they had stumbled on. Like they literally changed the course of TV. I mean, you could argue the real world was the first nail in the coffin of sitcoms. The same way that Nirvana killed the fucking butt rock hair bands, that Real World season 1, that was the beginning of the end for sitcoms. And sitcoms, they continued for years afterwards, and there's still some on. But I mean, you look at most of what is on TV, it's all fucking reality based. All of it. I swear to God, like 90% of it is like reality based. And that all started because of the real world. As far as I can remember, I don't know. Does anyone remember anything different prior to the real world? I don't. I don't remember anything like that. Just like I don't remember any music that sounded like Nirvana in that moment in time. There was nothing that sounded like them. Nothing. And just like in that other moment of time, there was not another show that was like the real world. Nothing. So I don't know. Jesus, here we God damn. I haven't even started talking about what I want to talk about. God damn. All right. I want to give a quick boxing corner. Things have been slowly progressing. I think I talked at one point on one of my episodes where I really got the shit kicked out of me sparring and didn't even make it. I made it one round. Let's be honest. Of the 3 minutes, I probably made it 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And there was a good 30 seconds in there. I don't even remember what the fuck was going on. Um, didn't get any more rounds in that night. And since the ass whooping, I have really had to, I don't know, have a come to Jesus meeting with myself. You know, I really had to evaluate the amount of dedication, the amount of focus. Um, I almost needed to kind of practice what I was preaching. You know, I've said on here 1,000 times, you know, when you find something that you enjoy doing, like it's okay to become obsessed with it. You know, I think you owe it to yourself. If you're serious about it and you want to improve, you know, you want to get as good as you're capable of getting, you have to become obsessed. And for me, my attention was divided, you know, between my enduro racing, you know, doing my scrambles and boxing. And I don't have the bandwidth to try to be good at two things. Now, have I been, let's just say for argument's sake, I was still road racing. Well, that's different, you know, because I had 14 years of road racing, you know, under my belt. Had I continued racing 14, 15, I would have been, this would be my 16th year of racing. You know, there's a lot less energy once you reach a certain point that needs to go into a hobby when you're pretty decent at it, you know? But that is not the case with me and dirt bikes. Dirt bikes is a very different discipline. The only thing that my dirt bike and my old race bike have in common are just the basics. But the way you ride them couldn't be more different. And knowing how I am, I don't have the brain power to be obsessed with two different sports simultaneously. I have to commit to one and just go for it. And that's what I did with racing. Like I was fucking obsessed with racing. And it took me a long time, but I got decent. I got pretty damn good, I would say. You know, was I the best? Was I the best club racer racing for plastic trophies? No, I was not the best. But I was definitely one of the better racers, and I could hold my own anywhere that I went with any club. Um, you know, and it took a lot of years to get there. You know, some broken bones, a lot of concussions, a shit ton of money. But you know, you get there. And I am not willing to do that with dirt bikes. And I realized after that ass whooping that I just need to focus on boxing. I just needed to focus on boxing. And now, literally, I just eat, sleep, drink, smoke boxing. If it was a powder, I'd fucking snort it up. Okay? If it was in a syringe, I would inject boxing straight into my fucking jugular. All right? That's how serious I'm taking this. And I have fun. Like I still laugh and I joke around, but I would like to think that my demeanor and maybe my intensity since the ass whooping has changed. You know, my intensity's definitely increased. My whole approach to boxing, I realized I just needed to change it. And you know, like we got some legit fighters at our gym, and it's everything that I can do just to try to maintain with their improvement. I'm definitely a few steps lower than them, but I'm trying to make my own improvements at the same rate. And I don't know, it's been good. Like the rounds that I've been sparring have been better. I'm definitely more relaxed. I'll still get thumped here and there. Um, but that's okay. Like I'm tough. I can take an ass whooping. What I don't like is making stupid technical mistakes that even at my point, damn, there's going to be a weird break in this because I wasn't paying attention to the clock. So like I was saying, I feel like, there are some mistakes that I still make. I make a lot of mistakes, but just some basic fundamental technical stuff that, you know, at my point in this journey, I gotta tighten those up a little bit, clean those up a little bit. But man, I mean, I'm happy with my cardio. I can go multiple rounds, and I'm learning kind of how to pace myself. And I think one thing that all new fighters really in any, whether it's jujitsu, Muay Thai, boxing, wrestling, um, something I've especially noticed in boxing though is controlling my tempo to allow myself to preserve my energy. Not everything, not every punch that I throw needs to be a knockout punch. A lot of the punches that you throw don't need to be these overtly heavy-handed punches. You're constantly just trying to set something up with a series of punches. And maybe the one punch I'm trying to set up is going to come after 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe lighter punches. I think where, I was getting myself in trouble was I was just trying to throw everything hard. Everything just had to be hard. And that's, you can sustain that for maybe a round. Like if you're in amazing shape, you can just go fucking throw bombs for 3 minutes. But once that second round starts, you're fucking done. And if that person is just good at defense, really all you're hitting is fucking boxing gloves and arms and shoulders. So you're not doing any damage. So really all you're doing is wearing yourself out. They're not even tired because they've thrown no fucking punches. And then round 2 starts. And, I'm speaking from experience when I say that shit ain't fun. So I don't know, like just little stuff like that. Really trying to just build my muscle memory, throwing, the same combinations over and over and over and over again. Just trying to build that muscle memory so that, when I am sparring and I throw it for real, at least I know it's going to land somewhere in my intended target area. So, yeah, man, I don't know. Like, I would honestly encourage, I think everyone should go box or go do kickboxing or jujitsu. I think a lot of the anger problems that people suffer from or stress could just be alleviated by burning some energy in an intense way like that. And really, like, my desire to fight anyone outside of the ring is fucking 0%. Zero. So if everyone was just out training and sparring, we would all just walk around super chill and happy, honestly. There'd probably be no more violence. There'd be no violence. First of all, we'd all be too fucking tired and hungry. Like the only thing I want to do when I get out of boxing is just go home and eat. That's it. that's all I have the energy for in that moment. And that's like literally the only thing that I say as I'm packing up my bag to leave practice. It's time to eat. I say that probably every fucking day when practicing. It's time to eat. I can't wait to eat. It's dinner time. Give me the fuel. So I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one who gets obsessed with food at the end of practice, but yeah, I don't know, man. Go join a boxing gym. Go join a kickboxing gym. Go do jujitsu. Go do a combat sport. I think it'd be good for you. Whoever you are out there, if you are listening to this, you should go join a gym and just burn some energy, learn how to defend yourself if need be. But really, man, it's just a lot of fucking fun and it's insanely fucking challenging. And you got to be honest with, uh, when something is challenging and you stick with it and you start to see progress, it's so rewarding. Is there anything more rewarding than that? Nobody likes to just do easy shit and then be like, "Oh man, look how good I am at this easy activity that I just learned in no time at all." Shut the fuck up. Go do something hard. Go do something hard. Challenge yourself. All right. That's my boxing. That's my little boxing corner. Okay, really, what I wanted to discuss today, I'm talking all MotoGP. There's been a lot of shit happen today. Not only did some stuff happen today, but some stuff didn't happen today. Okay, and I'll get to that in a second because I'm a little annoyed at some of these. I guess they are racing type pages or like quote unquote news outlets, Um, but first things first, I want to talk. Moto 2 was one hell of a race. Okay. And for the first time since I don't even know when, was Ben Spies the last American to win a race at the Grand Prix level? And I'm including all three categories: Moto 3, Moto 2, and then MotoGP. I think Spies, I don't know, didn't he win? I don't know, did he win in Assen or Donington Park? I don't know where the hell he won at. He won somewhere around the UK. I want to say Joe Roberts yesterday in Mugello in Italy had one of the most amazing races that I've ever seen. Not only did he qualify on pole, he set an all-time lap record for Moto 2. He was flying. He led probably the first half of the race. At one point, he dropped back to fourth, and then he just said, "Oh, hell no. I ain't finishing fourth." And he got insanely aggressive, more aggressive than I've ever seen Joe Roberts ride before. Like, I've seen him get elbows out there and, muscle his way through. Not like yesterday. Not like yesterday. I did not see that level of aggression ever from Joe Roberts. And the last couple laps, he went from fourth to first. And on the last lap, he did get past going into turn one. And then he absolutely muscled his way through back to the lead again by the exit of turn two. And he never looked back after that. It was unreal. I believe he's trailing Sergio Garcia by 7 points at the moment. I think 7 points, somewhere in there, for the championship lead. So he's in second place. We're on the summer break, so to speak, because they canceled Kazakhstan. So the next round will be in 3 weeks in Assen. That's a track Joe Roberts should do very, very well at. I think that track suits him. It's just fast. It's flowing. If I had to pick someone to win, I'm picking Joe Roberts right now. And I'm excited because as well as he is doing, I think he has a legitimate shot of getting one of the Trackhouse Aprilia rides in MotoGP next year. And how cool would that be if, finally, the last American, we haven't had an American in MotoGP since Nicky Hayden. And how cool would it be if Joe Roberts is able to, whether I don't think he necessarily needs to win the Moto 2 World Championship, but this is like his fourth or fifth podium out of the first however many races we've had now, or I'm not part of that paddock. I think they've had 5 rounds, and I think he's got 4 podiums, and plus including a race win. Like, if he just stays in that top 5 as far as races, he's going to get more podiums. Honestly, he's probably going to get more wins too. I think Trackhouse would be the perfect fit for Joe Roberts, and I'm so fucking stoked, and I hope it works. Trackhouse is an American team. It would be great if they did have an American writer. I never wanted Joe to get picked simply because he's an American, but right now he is writing probably the best out of everyone in Moto 2. He's been insanely consistent, and now he's got that race win under his belt this season. The sky is the fucking limit for that young man, and I am so excited. I have to admit, when he was on the podium and they're playing, the national anthem, whoever wins, the three people get on the podium, first, second, third, but they only play the national anthem for the person who won. So we haven't heard the Star Spangled Banner in quite some time. And I gotta admit, when the Star Spangled Banner started playing, I may have gotten a little choked up because it was such a cool moment. It really was a cool moment, seeing him on that top step with that flag draped around his neck, and then Hopkins down there, they're down below, his whole American racing team. They're all going crazy. Like it was a very, very cool moment. Big congratulations to Joe Robert and the American racing team. That's actually the name of the team. I'm not just saying that they're an American racing team. The name of the team is American Racing Team. So they're sponsored by OnlyFans too. They have an OnlyFans channel, or I guess account. So if you go to OnlyFans, people on Twitter are so fucking stupid. OnlyFans isn't just for porn, okay? Anybody can have an OnlyFans, and you can put whatever fucking content you want on there. Now, it just so happens that it's the perfect platform to do pornography, and that's cool. Do you know what other platform has pornography? Fucking Twitter does, okay? Twitter has all the porn you could ever want. It's all there. You can find any kind of porn you want except child porn. And if you are looking for child porn, why don't you go fuck yourself, okay? And then jump off a fucking cliff. How about that? But adults, consenting adults, plenty of porn on Twitter. Just like there's plenty of porn on OnlyFans. Now, is porn the only thing you're going to find on Twitter? No, it's not. Is porn the only thing you're going to find on OnlyFans? No, it's not. All right? So these fucking idiots on Twitter, I can't believe they're sponsored by a porn site. It's not a fucking porn site. All right? Pornhub is a porn site. YouPorn is a porn site. And I don't know how I know about those two things because I don't ever watch porn. Not me. No way. My point is, you can go to OnlyFans and you can find American Racing, and they have all kinds of videos, behind the scenes stuff, lots of good content. You can. Marcos Ramirez is the other writer for the American Racing Team, and then obviously Joe Roberts. But they do all kinds of shit behind the scenes. Tech stuff with the bikes. It's a whole ton of good content. Whole ton of good content. Now, if you choose to get sidetracked by looking at, some chick blow a ping pong ball out of her asshole, well, that's on you. I can't help you with that. Okay? You're capable of searching out a specific thing. So if you get sidetracked by ping pong balls and assholes, that's your problem. All right. Just know that there's a lot of other stuff that's on there that's not porn related. Just like on Twitter, there's a lot of stuff on there that has fuck all to do with pornography. All right. I'm glad we got that cleared up. Like, let me step down off my soapbox. Okay, now I want to talk a little MotoGP. Typically, Mugello, I got to say, first off, that is such a bucket list track that I want to go watch a MotoGP race at. I've seen MotoGP at Laguna Seca in 2012, and it was pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. I really want to go to Mugello, though. That is one of the bucket list tracks for me personally. Catalunya is another one in Spain, and then Assen in the Netherlands is like the other one. If I could see those three, I could die a happy man. I could die a happy man. From a motorcycle standpoint, I could die a happy man. I will, honestly, I think maybe next year, I might just go. I think I'm just going to go. Even if I'm only there for a few days and I just fly in, even if I have to hitchhike to the fucking track, I don't care. I don't care. I really want to go to that event. I want to be around the Italian fans. I just want to eat the pizza, drink the wine, drink the beer, whatever. I just want to sing and enjoy I want to enjoy, just take in the whole weekend, all that atmosphere. How cool would that be? You know, I think if I had to compare that, Phillip Island is the fourth place I really want to go to, down in Australia. I feel like Mugello is like the Super Bowl of MotoGP race events. Like, to me, for me and for what I love, that one has it all. So I don't know, man. I think next year I'm just going to go. But typically that track promotes amazing racing. That was not the case this year. This fucking race was so boring. It was just it looked like a track day out there. It looked like 24 riders out there just parading around. There was really a little excitement at the beginning. Pecco Bagnaia, I think he went from, I don't know, fourth to first by turn 2 out of the start, and then he was gone. Nobody challenged him again. Marquez rode one hell of a race. He ended up finishing fourth. Enea Bastianini made a pass on the last turn of the last lap on Jorge Martin, and he took second. So, factory Ducatis went 1-2, but really Ducati went 1, 2, 3, 4. The next bike that was not a Ducati was my guy, Pedro Acosta, on the Gas KTM, finished in fifth. He was, I don't know, I think he was maybe 4 seconds behind Marquez, and then 4 seconds in front of whoever the hell was in sixth place. Who cares? Might have been Maverick. I don't know. Like, he had kind of a boring race. But he picked up valuable points. I think he's still fifth in the championship. He's a fucking rookie. He's the top KTM on a satellite team. And, well, I should say he's on a satellite team for this year. He just recently signed I believe a 2-year contract. He is now moving over to factory KTM starting next year. I mean, that's like the worst kept secret ever. So I'm happy for him. I don't know. It's cool seeing him on the gas, but obviously KTM, they want their best riders on those factory bikes in the KTM orange. It's not that KTM wouldn't want to see Pedro, win a world championship on the gas, because, I mean, they're going to be pretty fucking stoked. But if they could have it their way, he would be in orange winning that title. They want him in orange winning a world championship. They don't want him on a satellite gas bike. So that's cool for him. And then today, huge bombshell, because everybody knows that Enea Bastianini, he's out of the factory Ducati team after this year. He just hasn't lived up. He's been very inconsistent. And it's frustrating because he's one hell of a rider. And last year, from the first event, he got plowed into, I think by, I don't remember who it was, and I don't want to just throw a name out there and be wrong, injured. And he was fighting injuries like probably 3/4 of last season. And by the time he got healthy, the season's over. He won in Thailand, rode amazing. And then this year, he's just been inconsistent. Again, just inconsistent. He does great like the last third of every race. Somehow he manages his tire wear very well, and he'll set his fastest laps like at the end of every race. But by then, he's so far behind, he's not really fighting for wins, barely fighting for podiums. And I think Ducati was just, they'd seen what they needed to see. Ultimately, it's a business, and you got to move on. Everyone thought Jorge Martin, who's leading the championship right now for Pramac Ducati, again, a satellite team, but he's leading the championship. I think everyone just thought he was a shoo-in to get that factory Ducati bike, Bastianini's bike. I think everyone just assumed it was going to be him. Well, then Marc Marquez signs with Ducati coming into this year. And okay, he hasn't won a race yet, but he's on last year's bike, which for all intents and purposes doesn't have the grunt coming out of turns. So he's a little down on power on corner exits. You're not getting as much engineering help because Ducati is going to throw they're going to throw all the engineers at their factory bikes and work with their factory riders. Ducati will still send some engineers to help the satellite teams, but it's not as much. It's definitely not to the level of being a factory rider. So he has 4 or 5 podiums already this year. He's been fighting for wins. He's been close. He's going to win at some point this season. He's too good not to. And, as this season's been going, people have been saying, oh, well, what if Marc Marquez, maybe he should get the factory seat, not Jorge Martin. And then and then all the thing, like I get that. Okay. Marquez is 31 years old. Martin, I believe, is 25, 24, 25, somewhere in there. I don't give a shit about age because when you're racing motorcycles 225 miles an hour, it doesn't matter how old you are. Your career can be over in an instant. Your life can be over in an instant. Okay? So if we look at right now in this moment, even though Marquez is not leading the championship and has not won a race, but does have multiple podiums, I still feel like he's riding better than Martin is, who's won multiple races and is leading the championship. And if I had to pick one, I'm taking Marquez, who is arguably the greatest road racer we have ever seen. You could say it's Giacomo Agostini. You could say it's Schwantz or Wayne Rainey, McDouhan. You could say it's Valentino Rossi. And honestly, I might even say it's Rossi. But you cannot deny Marc Marquez, who has won 8 world championships, how amazing of a rider he is. He's unreal. And now that he's finally healthy, let's not forget, the last 3 years, he almost had a fucking arm amputated because he broke it so bad. Let me say that again. He almost had an arm amputated because he broke it so bad. Not only did he break it, he had it plated on a Sunday because he crashed, Saturday during practice, has surgery. He tried to race the following fucking week. 6 days later, he was back on track trying to race. Crashed, broke his arm again, ripped all the plates out. Okay, he takes time off, lets it heal. The amount of force that it takes to ride those bikes, the brake in his arm started to re-brake on its own. And his humerus bone, which is the bone that is underneath your bicep and your tricep, that bone started at the fracture point, it started to rotate. So essentially, he was giving himself a spiral fracture. So he goes back in for another surgery where they re-break the arm. They put it so that it's all straight the way it's supposed to be. They plate it again, and then he misses even more time. Now, couple that with the fact that he was just riding an absolute grenade turd of a Honda, the RC213V. That bike, how it hasn't killed someone yet, I have no idea. I cannot believe Joan Mir is still trying to race that thing. He has crashed so many times, I legitimately have lost count. So Marquez was just crashing. That bike was not working. Marquez was still fighting for podiums on that turd of a bike. That's how good of a rider he is. Because every other Honda that was on that grid, the 2 LCR bikes and then the other factory bike, they weren't even scoring points, which means they're outside the top 15. But here Marquez is on the same turd with lipstick on it, fighting for podiums. So personally, I was glad that he signed with Ducati because I just want to see Marquez race as long as possible. And that was not going to be the case if he stayed at Honda. So I'm happy that he's with Ducati. Now, here's something that has been annoying me. Jorge Martin today, over the course of 24 hours from when the race ended on Sunday until this morning, and I'm going by time frames, Pacific Coast time. What happens in Italy is in a different time zone. I don't know what the times were there, but essentially he negotiated with and then signed a contract, a 2-year deal with Aprilia factory. So he's out. He's like, I'm not waiting for Ducati to make some fucking decision. And I gotta be honest, I kind of respect it because he took his future into his own hands. He's gambling on himself. The RSGP, that Aprilia bike is fucking legit. And when it works real good. And I think that Martin, I think he's going to be pretty fucking amazing on that. I think he would have been better on the KTM because I think the KTM suits his style more. The KTM likes to get a little more loose, likes to get a little more sideways. But the Aprilia is one hell of a bike. And sure, it has its issues here and there. They all do. All those bikes out there, they're all prototype bikes. They all have their issues here and there. Okay, Aprilia is not exempt from having issues. All right. But by and large, where that bike was 5 years ago to where it is today, oh shit. I think Martin is going to be unreal on that bike. And let's be honest, it spreads out the talent across the manufacturers a little bit more. Because right now, Ducati has arguably the best, at least the best 3 riders on the grid. In Pecco, in Martin, and in Marc Marquez. All right. They also have so many other riders who've won races. Enea Bastianini has won races. Di Gianantonio has won races. Bezzecchi has won races. I'm pretty sure that like everyone, Alex Marquez, I think he won a sprint. Everyone who races a Ducati, I think, has won a race. They're filled with talent. By far, Ducati has the most talent, and they just happen to be on the best bikes. Well, let me revise that. All these guys are insanely talented. If I put Quartararo on a Ducati and gave him a few rounds to get up to speed, Jesus, who the hell knows what he would be doing on that bike? Let's not forget, he's only, 3 years removed from being a world champion with Yamaha. Okay. He's unbelievable. He's unbelievable. He just happens to be on a bike that's a fucking turd right now. It's getting better. It's not as bad as Honda, but it's definitely getting better. Alex Rins, Jesus. I think of all the riders that are on that grid right now, I think I feel the worst for Alex Rins because of what Suzuki, when Suzuki pulled out of MotoGP, Joan Mir had already won a world championship. And Alex Rins was just straight up winning races. And I feel like that next season, the season where Suzuki was now gone, I think it's been 2 years now. I feel like Rins had a legitimate shot of winning the world title. He gelled so good with that Suzuki. He was almost unbeatable on that damn thing. And when he had everything clicking, no one could hang with him. And I mean, he beat Marquez when the Honda was good. All right. He beat Marquez when the Honda was good. So I shouldn't say that Ducati has the most talented riders. All those guys are insanely talented. All of them are. All of them are. Top to bottom. Even the test riders that come out and just do wildcard events, they are insanely talented. There's a reason why those factories pay them to develop and test these bikes. All right. There's a reason why those guys are picked, because they're unbelievable motorcycle racers that just aren't quite as good as literally the best riders in the world, but they're right there. But I don't think you can argue that Ducati has the best bike all around right now. And then when you take riders who are insanely talented and you put them on the best bike, they're going to dominate. And that's what they've been doing. So I think Martin moving to Aprilia spreads out the talent. Aprilia can win races. The Aprilia, the RSGP has won races. It's won multiple races. But I think in Martin's hands, I think that the sky's the limit with that bike. And I'm excited. It's just going to have another manufacturer that's up there fighting for wins. Aleix Espargaro, he already announced that he's retiring at the end of the season. I fully expect that, Maverick Vinales will sign another contract with Aprilia. So it's going to be 2 Spaniards on the Italian bikes, Martin and Vinales. I think those are going to be your factory riders for Aprilia. If I had to predict, Joe Roberts is going to Trackhouse, and I think Miguel Oliveira, I think he'll end up staying. God, he's had some bad luck too. Talk about it. I think he's got like 5 MotoGP wins, 5 or 6, and then just a slew of injuries last year. Wrecked his season. Absolutely wrecked his season. So between Martin going to Aprilia, Acosta moving, over to the factory KTM, and what hasn't been announced yet, but what I expect to be announced at some point, Marc Marquez is more than likely going to go to the factory Ducati. 2025 is going to be fucking lit. It's going to be awesome. I'm excited for this year because this year has been exciting, but I'm already giddy with excitement for 2025. I think it's just going to be awesome. One thing that was really annoying me though is that Martin going to Aprilia, it was speculated, but I don't think anyone really thought it was going to happen because everyone was assuming he was going to get the factory Ducati seat. Well, when he decided to take things into his own hands and just say, essentially, Ducati quit jerking me around, and then he just bounced. Well, everyone's just assuming Marc Marquez is going to get the factory Ducati seat. He probably will. There's probably a 99.9% chance that he's going to get it. And maybe by the time I'm finished recording this and I fucking post it online, maybe he will have signed a contract with Ducati. But as of now, he has not signed anything with Factory Ducati. It has not been decided. And there's already these stupid fucking news outlets that are reporting it's a done deal. Marc Marquez is going to the Factory Ducati team. Well, it's not a done deal. It's a done deal when he signs the fucking contract. Until then, he is not a factory rider. And I was getting so annoyed today with these bullshit news outlets. I don't know what the hell they are, that just blatantly come out and say Marquez to Ducati, and then you read the article and it's nothing but speculation, because everyone's in such a rush to be first that they don't care about being right. You know, I would rather be a little bit late and just get it right than be first and potentially get it wrong, because I'm trying to get a leg up on my competition. You know, it's just like, whatever. Like, is this really? I'm not compete. Like, are we really competing against each other here? Like, we're all just reporting shit that we see and observe. All right. And as of now, Marc Marquez does not race for Factory Ducati. He has not signed any contracts. He's with Gresini, and as far as I'm concerned, he's going to be with Gresini until he says otherwise, or until Gigi Gelina says otherwise, or until some other spokesman for Factory Ducati says otherwise. All right. So can we just like pump the fucking brakes a little bit and stop making all these assumptions? Because let's be honest, most of you people out there who follow MotoGP were all making the assumption that Martin was going to Factory Ducati. Well, that didn't happen. So don't now double down and just make an assumption that it's going to be Marc Marquez. You don't know what the hell's going through Marc Marquez's head. He might be very happy on a satellite team. He might be very happy. Imagine the intensity of that spotlight that was on him with the Repsol Honda team. Not just in MotoGP, but let's be honest, he was repping Repsol Honda colors from the time he was in Moto 3. Okay? And I didn't see any other bikes out there in Moto 2 that said Repsol Honda on them. He's been a factory Honda guy his entire career up until 2024. So if you can imagine what that spotlight, what that amount of pressure is like, shit. Maybe he enjoys being on a satellite team. You don't have all the media obligations. You know, the spotlight doesn't shine as bright on you, even though you're Marc Marquez, and the spotlight's still going to shine bright on you. It's just not the same when you're not in that factory garage. It's just different. And maybe he enjoys it. Maybe he enjoys just flying under the radar as much as, let me put it to you in basketball terms. If Michael Jordan, okay, at his peak, decided to go play in a smaller market team like Sacramento, the eyes of the world are still going to be on Michael Jordan. But it's a little bit different when you're in Sacramento as compared to when you're in Chicago, okay, or New York, or Dallas, or Houston. Huge markets, huge fan bases. And right now, he's in a great situation. Him and his brother are both racing the same bikes for the same team. They travel together. They're I don't know if you watched that Marc Marquez documentary that was on Prime. Him and his brother Alex are very, very close. All right. So look, I'm not saying that he's not going to Ducati. All I'm saying is stop speculating. Stop announcing that things have happened when they have not. Let them happen first, then report on it. Or, and here's how I know that the one specific art, and I'm not going to say the name of the article or the name of the site that posted the article, but here's how you know that they had no inside sources whatsoever. The entire article was just nothing but speculation. It was nothing but speculation. All they did was just make guesses. Just like me and my friends are sitting around the fucking table bullshitting. That's essentially all they did was just make speculations and guesses. That's it. That's all that article reeked of. Okay, no sources, no, according to this source in Ducati, blah, blah, blah. Nothing like that. So just stop it. Just stop it. And I don't consider myself part of the media, but I do enjoy talking about MotoGP. So I guess technically I am in the media at the lowest possible level possible. Stop speculating, man. Just stop it. Just stop it. Is it going to happen? Probably, but it hasn't yet. So let's just wait and see. Okay. All right. God, I don't like this summer break that they do. It just drives me nuts. I want them to keep racing. God, and World Superbike has been off on their little break. Like, why the fuck they do so many breaks? They don't need breaks. World Superbike doesn't even do that many rounds. They don't need no summer breaks. Soon, they'll all be back, and it'll all be good. I encourage all of you to go check out some MotoGP footage. You can go to MotoGP.com. Go to YouTube. Just watch some videos. I promise you, you will become a fan. You will become a fan. Same with World Superbike. You will become a fan. Go watch some World Superbike videos. It's amazing. It's amazing. That's my show for today. I know I said I was going to do an episode last week, and I got busy. I don't have time. Is there someone out there who wants to like sponsor this show and just pay me a salary and then I can just create content? Is anybody out there? I need to get some sponsors. That's what I need to do. I'm gonna drum up some sponsors somehow. So far down on the list of things I need to get done this week. Sponsors is not on that list. All right, I'm going to do my best to get another episode out to y'all next week. I hope everyone's doing good. We had a little setback with the weather, but the sun's coming back Wednesday. So get outside, get some exercise, eat some good quality food. Hug your loved ones. I will talk to you all later.